Yo, what is good, people? Welcome back to another episode of the F1 2022 My Team series here on the channel. Today is the Zandvoort Grand Prix. Welcome back to the F1 series. If you have not checked out the first episode of the week on Monday, make sure you check that out in Spa. A very, very good race. We did one of the best plays I have probably ever done in my F1 career. And yeah, so this video should be going up on Wednesday if all goes to plan. And as of Wednesday, FIFA came out yesterday. So the channel will be moving towards more FIFA content, but the F1 series will still be obviously ongoing until the end of the season. So make sure you stay tuned, because we, of course, carry on this series until we win both the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championship. And as it stands, we are on course to do that in this season, so that would be perfect. But if not, we will continue on. As you can see, we are currently 31 points ahead in the Drivers' standings in P1, and we are 2 points behind Ferrari in the Constructors' standings. So in Zandvoort today, we need a good race from both us and our teammate Ayrton Senna, and then we can obviously, hopefully, with a good result for us both, overtake Ferrari in the Constructors and continue and progress our lead in the driver standings too. That would be ideal, as the team are fitting the wheels on our car. They're getting ready for qualifying here in Zandvoort. A very tricky circuit to overtake Zandvoort, so qualifying is definitely important. Let's see if we have any pace in the car this weekend. Currently sat in P10 in Q1 here, getting into this lap, braking at the 50-meter board for turn 1. Late apex from us there as we head round, but we can carry a lot of speed as we drop it to 5th gear and throw it through this right-hander into the banked left-hander, taking a shallow line there, hugging the inside curb, whereas in real life the cars drift as wide as they can up the banking, but on the F1 game you have to stay as low as you can. It's weird how real life racing line is different to a simulator racing line. It seems very bizarre, but yeah, it's actually quite a hard lap to talk through in terms of a track guide, because it really just is like going off of feel and your tyres and the speed that you're carrying into certain sections, and just throwing the car through and hoping it sticks, hoping the tyres stick to the tarmac and you don't understeer or oversteer out of any corner. Braking just after the 100-meter board for this chicane here, taking a bit of curb on the inside right, avoiding the curb on the left there, getting on the throttle nicely. Good exit there for that corner. Braking here, watch out for that inside right curb there that you can very easily spin. Surprised we didn't there. And then as we come through another banked corner, opening the DRS, heading down the main straight, crossing the line with a purple sector 3 and a lap good enough for P5, just ahead of our teammate Senna in P6. But we do finish the session there after we advance in P11. Our teammate up in P3, so we definitely need to improve on that. P11 is not good enough pace. We are behind Max Verstappen. This is his home Grand Prix, Max. So Max will be looking to try and set a good lap here, but the Ferrari is absolutely flying ahead in P1 and P2 there. So let's get into this Q2 session then. Can we set a lap good enough for the top 10 to get through to Q3? Because of course P11 is not good enough for Q3. We have to be in the top 10. Let's find out. Carrying a bit of speed through the bank corner there. Looked quicker than the last lap. We don't have any delta to go off yet, because this is our first lap in the Q2 session. So let's head towards this corner, where again, like I say, not really any reference points. You're just throwing the car in, hoping it sticks, watching out for the curbs on the exit, because the curbs can unsettle you very easily here in Zandvoort. Every single one of them that you come into contact with is so easy to throw the car. So yeah, just be careful with the curbs if you're ever racing around here. Try not to use too much of them, but try and use as much as you can of them. Bit contradictory advice there, but it is what it is. As we head into the chicane, dropping into 2nd gear for extra rotation, then short shifting to 3rd on the exit. I was a bit slow and sloppy through the exit there, so I'm not expecting too good of a lap here. But we are going to come around the final banked corner yet again. Carry that speed through as we rise up the banking, hit that DRS point, and cross the line. Let's see where that puts us. It's going to put us P5, oh no, P6, sorry, our teammate Senna in P5 just ahead. And that is going to be the quickest lap of our session, I do believe. We go again for another lap here. We're pushing towards the end of the lap, and as we get into the chicane, Kevin Magnussen in the Williams in front of us, getting in our way as we get on the throttle on the exit, getting into his dirty air. And as we get into the final corner, you see that understeer just as we get into that dirty air of Magnussen. That's going to ruin our lap. It wasn't that great anyway. We wasn't really improving that much, but that's ruined our lap, and we go 2 tenths slower. So I think we're pushing again here with 1 minute left to go in the session. this is going to be our final lap. Oh no, there we go. So Magnussen basically ruined our last attempt at a lap. And it is P11. Unfortunately for us, we are out in Q2. It's been a while since we've been out in Q2. But we are going to go out in Q2. And look at the gap between us and Max. That is 4 1,000ths of a second, I think, separates us from getting into Q3. Crazy stuff. Senna in P8. Hopefully he can set a good lap in Q3. Let's find out as we get to the race.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and to the Zandvoort circuit. We're 25 miles away from Amsterdam for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. Zandvoort circuit has 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6-mile lap. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Senna, Leclerc, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Ocon, Perez, Verstappen, and Fernando Alonso. The owner driver, Gasly, Kevin Magnussen, and Tsunoda, Albon, Stroll, Mick Schumacher, and Guan Yu Zhou, Vettel, Latifi, Schwartzman, and Daniel Ticktum. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
We've got it all to do then in today's race. We're starting with the soft tyres, going with an aggressive strategy, starting with the softs and going for a longer stint on the mediums. It looks like everyone behind us, Gasly, Magnussen, they're going with the same, starting on the softs, but everyone in front, Alonso, Verstappen, Perez, they're on the mediums, going with the medium hard strategy, one stop either way. But I thought we'll start on the softs, get more grip off the line, and try and make some early overtakes, you know, go aggressive on that first stint and then try and drag out that final stint on the hard tyres. Perfect optimal start and place in the grid there. It is all to play for. We've got it all to do, but this is really where races like this, where you separate the boys from the men and the champions from the non-champions. Let's get into this race anyway. 5 red lights here in Zandvoort. It is lights out and away we go. A slow start for the McLaren. Lando Norris there in pole position. I think it is Lando Norris. Yes, it is. And Carlos Sainz has beat him down into turn 1 already. We go around the outside of another McLaren. Esteban Ocon there. We are absolutely flying off the start here. We blitzed Alonso. We blitzed Verstappen. We've gone around the outside of Ocon and Sergio Perez, and we're still battling with Ocon here as we get into the bank left-hand there, ahead of Esteban Ocon on that inside line there on the soft tyres, showing just how much grip we do have off the start. Ocon absolutely flying out of the bank corner there. He had a great exit. Can we try and shove it up the inside of Ocon coming through this right-hander? Yes, we can. But he still stays ahead. Ocon defending very well here. We saw him defend. No, we haven't actually, because that video doesn't come out till Friday. Let's just say Ocon defends well in Friday's video too. But yeah, anyway, fortune teller coming back from the future to tell you that. But a great start anyway. We've got past Fernando Alonso and 2 Red Bulls off the start here, showing that maybe it was a good idea for us to start on these soft tyres. A lot of grip off the line, and we're getting down into the chicane here. We try and send it up the inside of Ocon. Not going to be able to make a move there, but I'm getting very aggressive on this first stint. Like I did say, I don't care if we burn these soft tyres completely off the car. We're just going to push them right to the edge, right to the limit, to try and make up those places early on in the race before people start pulling too big of a gap to catch up. We've got it all to play for, as we can see, using some battery charge, making Ocon defend heavy down the inside, and we can go around the outside of turn 1. There's a lot of space in turn 1 here in Zandvoort, so we use that to our advantage and go around the outside, and we are up into P7. We get past Esteban Ocon there, and now the 2 cars in front is the 2 Mercedes. George Russell had a bit of a wobble there, looked like, trying to correct some oversteer, coming through the bank left-hand there. So we're going to be right on the gearbox of George Russell and pushing as hard as we can, using a lot of battery charge already. We've set a purple sector 1. We're below 50% charge in the battery already with only 1 lap gone, and we're halfway through the second lap now. But we're still pushing as hard as we can, like I say, using all of that battery charge pretty much in the first few laps. Don't want to expend it all because it's hard to harvest it back once you do that, and we do want to save it to be able to fight some people later on. But I'm still trying to use it as much as we can to try and make these early moves, and we are definitely faster than some of these cars in front. You can see how much we're catching George Russell now. Can we make a move down into turn 1 on the next lap? Let's find out as we come through the final turns now. Be careful on that curb on the exit. That is so easy to lose the back end there, but you can see we get a great launch out to the final corner, make Russell defend the inside. Can we have a repeat of what we've just done with Ocon and go around the outside into turn 1? That's what we're going to try. We've just had the fastest lap of the race. DRS also enabled this lap, and we do go around the outside of Russell, and we are up into P6. This is a perfect start to our race, and we were just in the zone. Hamilton with a bit of a wobble there. Can we go around the outside of the left-hander? No, we can't. Hamilton gets a great launch up the inside there, but we are really in the zone here, and we are just pushing as hard as we can, and we are carrying so much pace in this race here. I don't know where this pace was in qualifying, because we obviously bottled qualifying, but absolutely flying in the race, and it's what you love to see. Can we get Russell's teammate Lewis Hamilton? Can we overtake him and get up into the top 4? I wanted to try and make these early overtakes before DRS got enabled, because that's when people start to build those gaps that it's so hard to come back from when you don't have DRS yourself. But it looks like we might be caught in a train now, as we are within range of Hamilton for that DRS, and once we get to the main straight, we will have that DRS down the straight, but he will have it on Leclerc will have it on Senna, and I think Senna might be close enough to the man in P2 to get it on him as well. So we're going to be in that DRS train, but coming out to the final corner using that battery charge already, and there we go, we activate the DRS. How much of this battery are we going to be able to use as we try and make Hamilton defend the inside, but he's not biting on it? Can we send it up the inside of Hamilton into turn 1? Hamilton running a bit wide there, we're going up the inside. No, Hamilton defends well. He doesn't take the bait and defend the inside, so we could go around the outside like we did against Ocon and Russell. Speaking of around the outside, we tried this same move again. We tried it last lap, it doesn't work again, but this time we are right on the gearbox of Lewis Hamilton. Could have used some battery there, maybe got past him on that straight, but I didn't want to do it. I wanted to try and save some. Into the chicane now, up the inside of Hamilton. There's a lot of space up there, and we try and go around the outside through turn 2 of the chicane, but no, Hamilton again. This is why he's a 7-time world champion, proving very hard to get past here. But all this time that we're losing, battling with Hamilton, it's allowing Charles Leclerc to pull ahead in P4 there. Hamilton out of DRS range for Charles Leclerc. You can see here his rear wing is not open, but ours is. Can we send it up the inside into turn 1? We go late on the brakes down into turn 1 there, up the inside this time, and we do manage to get past the Mercedes driver. We are up into P5, and this is a quality drive from us already on for driver of the day, up from P11 into P5. Can we keep this momentum going as we start lap 7? We're going to be close enough to Charles Leclerc to try and make a move, or are we? Round the outside through turn 1. Can we make that stick? No, we cannot, or can we? Leclerc with a snap of oversteer on the exit there, and we are ahead of Charles Leclerc. We get past the Ferrari mama, and we're up into P4. Our teammate is the next man in front of us. He had a little wobble there, and there's a yellow flag somewhere on the track, and Senna moves, and Sainz moves, and what's going on here? We're off the track. There's a yellow flag because Lando Norris has pulled off to the side there. Lando Norris out of the session with engine failure. Absolutely crazy stuff there. That was almost a very high speed collision from, and it would have been like a good 6-car pile up. Let's see that there. So the yellow flag came out, and we actually overtook our teammate Senna while the yellow flag was out, which is of course illegal. So that's why I drove off the track and let Senna go past again, and Senna's back up into P2 now. But yeah, so crazy moments. We've lost the fastest man on the track. Well, not the fastest man because we have the fastest lap, but Lando Norris was in P1 in this race, and he's gone now. So we've actually gained another place, but not from an overtake, and we're up into P3. This is absolutely crazy. This is a perfect start to this race, and now it just comes down to the strategy. Are we going to be able to make this strategy work? Because everyone else in this top portion of the race is running the medium hard strategy, so they can go for longer on the mediums than we can go for on these softs. You can see there we're approaching the pit window now. The soft tyres getting a bit worn out, but they are still proven to be alive. As we can see here on lap 9, we start lap 10. This is our in lap. Boom. We are pushing against our teammate Senna around the outside. We've seen this move before already in this race. Can we make it stick again? Yes, we can. We actually lost a bit of time from battling with our teammate Senna. I did cut out some of that battle, but we lost a lot of time. We lost about a second to Carlos Sainz, the man in P1. But we finally get past our teammate on the lap that we are due to come in. But are we going to come in this lap? Who knows? Let's find out if we do have enough pace to try and push against Carlos. Because Carlos, of course, the man in P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Me and Carlos seem to be in a league of our own this season for the championship. And it seems to be like a two-way battle between us and Carlos. So that is definitely the man we're looking out for. He's 2 seconds ahead. Is his strategy going to be able to pull him 2 seconds out of our range? You know, that's what we need to wonder and think about here. We set a purple sector 2 there on the in lap. You'll see that in Friday's race too. Just when you think the tyres are dead, the tyres are never dead. Yeah, maybe we are the tyre whisperer. Who knows? We're on like 50% wear or something with these tyres now. It's definitely time to probably come in and change them. But with a purple sector 2 under our belt, we decided to stay out. And we crossed the line there with not the fastest lap, but it was a decent enough lap, you know, and it was close to being the fastest lap of the race. It wasn't. It was 2/10 off it. But still, I decided to stay out for at least one more lap until the tyres told me to take them off, which they basically are now. 63% wear on the front tyres. That is understeer FC. So we come into the pits then on lap 12, decide to extend that stint a little bit. I think the medium runners are going to come in on lap 15 or 16, so we tried to extend the soft tyre stint a little bit so it was a bit closer to the medium stint, but that for sure was as far as we could go. On those soft tyres we had to come in and take them off. Now we come on we come back out onto the track in P13 on these hard tyres. Difficult to warm them up, as we've mentioned every time we put hard tyres on the car, but can we get them up to a nice working window and try and gain some places back? Of course, everyone in front does still have to pit, so I'm not too worried about being P13 at the minute. Here comes Lance Stroll into the pits as we get a bit of a slipstream from him coming out onto the straight. There's Alonso, Leclerc, Senna, Hamilton all into the pits, and we're going to come round to turn 1 there. Senna in the pits, Leclerc was in the pits, which means Sainz is not pitted. Sainz should pit on the next lap, I believe. Maybe I got that a bit wrong there, because I thought that the medium runners would pit on lap 16 or 17, or I mean 15 or 16, but they actually pit around 18 and 19. So yeah, there's Verstappen into the pits as well. We've got Yuki Tsunoda in front, who we're going to get a slipstream off down the main straight as he pulls off into the pits. There's Verstappen into the pits, Ocon's in the pits, George Russell and Carlos Sainz in the pits now, as we set a purple sector 3 there, getting that slipstream from Tsunoda. And Carlos Sainz comes out of the pits now on his hard tyres, and he's actually still ahead of us, so the undercut has not worked. Carlos Sainz is going to be 1 second ahead, but those fresh hard tyres on his car are going to be cold. We've already put a few laps in to our hard tyres, so ours are up to temperature for a good race stint. Can we make the most of that on Carlos's outlap here? Can we try and close that gap and maybe make a move while he's trying to get those tyres up to temperature and understeering and oversteering through these corners? Can we try and make a move on Carlos Sainz? You can see the speed that we're carrying compared to him. He's going very slow on this outlap, and we've closed that gap from 2 seconds or whatever it was to 5/10 now within that DRS range. Don't have much battery charge, but I did blitz it all while I was trying to get these tyres up to temperature and try and close the gap a bit, because I didn't want Carlos to be able to undercut us like this. So we used a lot of battery off camera while we were just going through some of those outlaps there after we came onto this hard tyre stint. But we will have DRS down this main straight now. Sergio Perez comes into the pits, so he frees up another place. Carlos retakes the lead of the race, and we're going to retake P2 in this race, and we're also going to take the fastest lap in this race, showing that we are very promising for our pace here. Right on the gearbox of Carlos Sainz. Can we try and make a move soon? Like I say, it's very difficult to overtake here in Zandvoort. There's not many places to do it. You've seen us do it a lot as we climb from P11 into P2, but mainly it was down into turn 1. We did a few into the chicane as well towards sector 3, but as of right now there is not much place.
Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
There are not many places to overtake, like I was trying to say, and on top of that we've just got a warning from our engineer that the ICE is showing wear. That is not like a terminal thing, so we're not going to like fail. I mean, we're not going to see engine failure in this race is what I'm trying to say, but we do have a loss of power, which is not what we like to hear. You know, like I say, it's difficult to overtake as it is. We're chasing our championship rival to try and get a race win, and we are currently seeing a loss of power, and our tyres are a lot older than Carlos's, so towards the end of this stint as well, in the last few laps, like around 33, lap 33, I think Carlos will definitely see an advantage in tyres. So with that, bearing that in mind, we send one down the inside into turn 1. Can we make that stick and take the lead from Carlos Sainz? No, we can't. Carlos very aggressive there and takes the lead back. That was a very ambitious move from me, but with all of that in mind, the tyres, the difficulty of overtaking around here, and the loss of power in the engine, I just tried to yeet it up the inside and take Carlos, but it wasn't meant to be. Now we've just burned all of our battery charge pretty much. We need to try and save up some battery if we have any chance of overtaking Carlos, but I'm just panicking about that engine and about the loss of power. How significant is that loss of power going to be? Who knows, but we've been pushing now for a good few laps against Carlos Sainz here. Both of us, never mind saving tyres till the end of the race, both of us are pushing our tyres right to the limit here. So Carlos, like, even though he does have fresher tyres, we are really forcing him to use all of that grip that he does have on them to try and, you know, defend against us, because we are both pushing right to the limit of speed right now. This is just great racing from the two championship rivals. This one, if you're a fan watching this, you know, this is a great race to see in terms of a championship, unlike the real life F1 season this year, which has just been non-existent. There's been Max Verstappen dominance all year. But yeah, there's a big snap of oversteer from Carlos Sainz. Now we're right on his gearbox, but he defends well. Like I say, so hard to overtake in this track. There's no way to do it. It is really hard. There's literally 2 places you can try and overtake, and it's just so hard to do. But we're showing, like, we're pushing Carlos right to the edge, and it's forcing him to make mistakes like that and have snaps of oversteer, things like that. So can we keep this pace up? Who knows how long we can actually keep this pace up for, how long the tyres will hold on. But if we can keep this pace going, I'm confident that we can make Carlos make a mistake and capitalise on that and try and retake the lead of this race in Zandvoort. But let's see, as we come through there, he doesn't look like he's got that much grip on his tyres coming through that corner there, and through this left-hander we are right on his gearbox. A good exit there as we approach the DRS zone. Can we send one down into the chicane here? We've done it on Esteban Ocon. Can we do it on Carlos Sainz? We're going to be too far back for that, but we've set a purple sector 2, showing that we do have life in the tyres still. We're about to come around the final few corners. We've saved up a decent amount of battery, 30%. That'll last us the whole straight if we do turn it on. And as we come through now, we activate it early. As we come through the final turn, we're going to get in that slipstream of Carlos Sainz, open that DRS wing. 10 laps to go here in the Zandvoort. We set the fastest lap of the race yet again, and we have a look up the inside of Carlos Sainz. We're going to send it up the inside, and are we going to be able to come out ahead here? Snap of oversteer, but yes, we are. We are up ahead of Carlos Sainz, and we take the lead of this race with 10 laps to go. In Zandvoort, our tyres looking dead. Well, not dead, but like near enough dead. We're getting close to that that stage of where they are dead, and we've still got 10 laps to go, so that's not what we like to see. But we have been pushing right to the edge as long as we could, and here's a replay of the overtake. We send it up the inside there from downtown, and Carlos round the outside just cannot find the grip. And actually a great move, and that was just great racing from the two of us. Can Carlos say anything about it? Can he try and come back before the end of this race? He has 10 laps to go. His tyres are near enough 10 laps younger than ours as well, so you'd think that he'd have you know, some sort of like strategy in his back pocket to come back and attack us with. But Senna, our teammate, I've just noticed, is 7.7 seconds behind in P3. But that just shows, like I mentioned, me and Carlos in a league of our own this season. Nobody has been able to match us for pace. Speaking of pace, down the main straight here, we don't even have to use battery to defend against Carlos because he's just not close enough to make a move. That DRS is giving him about 3/10 advantage down the straight. I did the maths and realised, so as long as we stay 3/10 ahead of Carlos, then we will be alright. That's front tyres on 60% wear, rear tyres on 50% wear. I told you we're pushing these tyres right to the limit, and we are still 7/10 ahead of Carlos Sainz. We've set the fastest lap of the race, even with 60% wear on the tyres. We really are the tyre whisperer. But we've also got, as you might have seen in the bottom right there, we've underfueled the car. So I'm trying to run some lift and coast measures to try and get some fuel back in the car, try and run some fuel saving measures. You know, downshifting later and upshifting earlier to try and save fuel as we head into this right-hander, just lifting and coasting through the corner. But doing so is allowing Carlos to get right back on our tail. And as we come around this corner here, Carlos is right in our rear view and into the braking zone. Carlos Sainz actually went ahead for a moment there, and I need to realise, look, it's the last lap of the race. Who cares about you've got minus 10 laps of fuel or whatever it says, minus 0.1 lap of fuel. Just push right to the edge. It's only 1 lap to go. You're not going to run out of fuel. And even if you do, at least if you have a bit of a gap to Carlos, then you will cross the line fair still. So we're coming around the final corners now. Are we going to be able to stay ahead of Carlos Sainz? There's nowhere for him to overtake into these last few corners. It comes down to the main straight. Coming through the final corner now. As long as we keep it on the track and not in the wall, we are going to be all right. We're going to use the rest of our battery charge, but Carlos Sainz is closing quick, and there's the checkered flag. We do manage to cross the line. Carlos was about to take us there on that straight, but we managed to cross the line in P1. What a race, up from P11 on the grid, and that does also mean driver of the day. You love to see it. What a race that is. That is really, like, just... If we do end up winning the championship this season, that is one of the races I will look back at and say that was a proper champion's drive. Like, the first stint on those soft tyres, we had such a good race at the start of the race. And then to be able to battle Carlos for like 5 laps there of just staying behind him and hard racing, and then managing to get that overtaken and to win the race, that is really a championship drive. Like I mentioned at the start, this is where we separate the boys from the men. When you do start from further back on the grid, do you have what it takes to be a champion or do you not? I mean, obviously we don't know. There's still like, what, 5 or 6 races left in the season, so in fact there's way more than that, I think. No, there's not actually. After this one there's 6 races left, 5 races left in the season. Yeah, 5. So 5 races left in the season. Will we win the championship? It's going to come right down to the wire. Like I say, I am only 1 race ahead in the recordings, which is Friday's episode, which is in Monza, which you will see on Friday, like I say. As for the other races, the other 4 races that we do have left, I'm not sure when they will be coming because of FIFA uploads on the channel, but they will be coming, so stay tuned. But as you can see, we won the fastest lap as well, so 26 points, absolutely massive. Lewis Hamilton finishing P4 there, 2 Red Bulls finishing P8 and P9, not a great result for them. They have really been struggling towards the back end of this season. Lando Norris with that DNF as well, we did get lucky with that at the start of the race, but I mean, the pace that we were showing, it might have been a 3-way battle between us, Carlos and Lando. Never mind just us and Carlos. But our teammate Senna overtaking Jenson Button in the driver's standings now after just 3 races. Or is it 2 races? I can't even remember, bro. Nah, it's 2. It's 2 races. 3. No, that was his 3rd race because he had France, Spa and Zandvoort. But more importantly, we overtake Ferrari in the constructors' standings by 11 points. Things you absolutely love to see. So 11 points ahead in the constructors, miles ahead in the drivers as it stands. It's still all to play for, though. We get a rear wing downforce upgrade there before the Italian Grand Prix, which is of course Monza, and a very fun race in Monza coming up on Friday. You want to check that video out. We run a very risky setup for that one. Fernando Alonso has announced his retirement from Formula 1 in that, I don't know if you've just seen that mail there. But yeah, we are going to pick up our career trophy there for winning the Netherlands Grand Prix. We're also going to pick up the Spa trophy. Spoilers if you haven't seen Monday's episode yet, which you should have before you watch this one anyway. So we pick up the trophy for that one too. And yeah, we're going to pick up a tyre wear upgrade, which we'll get before USA. Then the final upgrade we do have left on the car is a front downforce upgrade, which we will get after the Italian Grand Prix and before the USA Grand Prix. So a lot of upgrades coming to the car before the USA Grand Prix. A circuit I struggle with, to be honest, but who cares about that? You'll see that when you see it. We've got Monza coming on Friday. Like I say, don't know when the rest of the uploads will be coming because of the FIFA content, but just stay tuned on the channel, innit? Hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell, like, comment, share and subscribe. You know the vibes. I'll catch us next time, people. Take it easy.